learn how to make this expressive portrait collage using very simple materials. You can do this with old magazines. You could pick up a couple magazines at the grocery checkout aisle, and all you need is a pair of scissors and a glue stick. I'm going old school and I'm doing an old-fashioned magazine collage. I'm going to show you one of my favorite contemporary artists that I just discovered along the way and show you how to break down facial features to create an interesting and eye-catching, simple composition. If you love learning about art, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an art tutorial. Find a piece of paper that's brightly colored or has a pattern, and you're going to need scissors, a glue stick, and access to magazines. If you don't have print magazines, you can also do this digitally. So you can do this in Photoshop and Procreate. You can even do this in Google Docs. I'm showing the old school collage technique because I'm not great at digital art, but you can certainly work with what you have. Even if you don't have magazines at your house, you can find them anywhere. They still sell them at stores, believe it or not. So once you have your magazines, you want to look for something that has a lot of faces. So I'm going through the Oprah magazine, and there's a lot of advertisements for hair products, makeup products. And since my collage is all about the face, you want to think about using magazines that are going to have lots of faces. And what I like to do is just flip through them, and I either tear out or cut out objects and faces that I find interesting. So if I see a page that has, like this purple eyeshadow, I think it's beautiful. So I'm just ripping the whole thing out because this magazine is done. I've read it. I'm just using it for images. That's why I love collages so much, because you're able to assemble and arrange images that you don't have to produce and create yourself. So I think collage is a really great way to expand your creativity because you're not limited to just what your drawing or painting skills are. So I'm just flipping through, looking for things, collecting them, any shape, color, if there's a facial feature that just jumps out to me. Right now, my focus is just on collecting. I may or may not use all of my images, and I might have a certain idea that I might go back and look for. Like maybe I want an eyebrow or a nose with a nose piercing. And I am looking for colorful patterns as well. So keep in mind, when you take images, someone designed these pages. So if you're interested in art for a career, graphic design, someone arranged, photographed, and designed these pages. So keep in mind that you're borrowing images, you're borrowing things that have been created by other artists, and we're creating it in a new way. We're making a new work of art out of it. I love this page with all of the masks on it. I think that is going to create a very interesting collage. I'm going to speed things up a little bit since I'm just shopping for images in my magazines. This really is the most time-consuming part of this because you have so many images to choose from, it's almost overwhelming. Now that I have a variety of faces and facial features, I'm going to start with my favorite part, the eyes. This eye makeup really caught my eye because I thought it looked beautiful with the blue of my paper. So I know I want to use this, and I cut it in the shape of a triangle because I want to kind of piece together fun shapes, fun patterns, and a variety of facial features. Keep in mind, this is not a realistic portrait of how a woman would look. I'm using fashion magazines to make a statement, and mine's going to be of a woman because it's just the type of magazine that I have. It's mostly geared towards women, so the advertising's for women. And so I'm just going to kind of cut out different facial features. I like the piercing on this nose, and I seem to be doing a triangle theme, so I'm cutting this out for now, knowing that this is going to change drastically. I actually really like how these two triangles stick together, but I guarantee you it's going to be completely different by the time I'm finished with it. These pistachios, something about the beautiful color and pattern and repetition, I'm going to cut this out. I like the curve, and I might use this for my background. So I'm looking at artist Otha Davis III, and he's known as Vakseen. Yes, I understand the irony of an artist named Vakseen in 2021 when I feel like all we're talking about is the COVID vaccine. But he spells it different. And he's a self-taught artist who is also a multi-platinum music executive producer and songwriter. So talk about that. I also love him because he was born in Georgia. So he is from the South, just like me. And I really love his series of vanity pop. That's what he calls it. And it's where he cuts out images of women, facial features, and collages them together. Personally love Vakseen's use of bold shapes, bold patterns, and eye-catching facial features that are real, like they're photographs, but they're so overdone that it's not really realistic for how women actually look. It's what this series is all about, the unrealistic expectations we put on ourselves based on images we see on TV, magazines, social media. So this is the fun part because I'm not gluing anything down. I'm just experimenting with these ideas. So bold facial features, bold shapes, and what do I like that has pattern and color? You could make multiples. It might be a good idea to kind of collect as many images as you can, and then certain things will work really nicely together and certain things just won't. Composition in art is the visual arrangement of elements. And so elements can be color, shape, line. You can also do principles of design like rhythm, movement, repetition. For me, I'm just arranging my facial features and I'm trying to find colors and shapes and patterns that really work together. You could be like Vakseen and you can have a theme. So for example, you could explore the pressures that we put on society to look a certain way. This work of art, your theme could be all about expression and emotion. And you could do a series of faces that show different facial features or different emotions by playing around with how you arrange the facial features. And I'll put a link in the description box to my favorite collage artists that use a whole wide range of themes, whether it's surrealism or just expression. So I'm just arranging my elements here. I haven't glued anything down. I love the orange circle. I'm really happy with this green. I want it behind my nose. I still feel like the artwork is a little unbalanced because the mouth is so big. It takes up a lot of space, which I like, but I'm having a hard time balancing out everything else. Finally, I'm ready to collage. And collage comes from a French word which means to glue. And to create a collage is basically what you watched me do, collecting images, whether it's photographs, painted papers, and then gluing or assembling them on a new surface. I decided to keep things very simple. And so I'm going to use my Elmer's glue stick, which I have tons of, super affordable. I would not recommend using Elmer's school glue, the white glue, because it just wrinkles your paper. If you're using really thick paper, that would work, but usually a magazine has pretty thin, glossy pages, and an Elmer's glue stick is the best tool that I have found. You can use Mod Podge or like a paste, and then you can actually go over all of your, not just glue it down flat, but you can go around your edges. But for just a basic collage, all you need is a glue stick. It can be annoying to work with glue. It might stick to your hands a little bit. So I like to glue it on another surface, which I'm not doing a great job of here. You can see I'm just going right for it, and you see that triangle that's left behind. So if you have a piece of scratch paper or like a surface for gluing, that would really help. And I'm making this fake eyebrow here. It's actually the chin of the mask or of the mouth that I cut out. And I just thought that'd be a really fun detail, is to kind of echo that curved shape of the chin by flipping it and making it an eyebrow. You can see that my glue is extending from that. It does dry clear, but it would have better craftsmanship or attention to detail if I was a little bit more neat with my gluing. I just can't say no to these pistachios. I try to use them one more time, but I'm gonna go for more simple shapes. I do have some pattern like with the green behind my nose, and I'm gonna use this square or rectangle of hair that I cut out to put the eye, and it kind of ties everything together. Everything's very fragmented and apart, but I like that there is a little bit of hair that kind of comes down with an eye in it. Kind of Picasso there, right? One of my favorite paintings of his has just an eyeball floating in a woman's, in her hair. So I'm kind of, inspired by that. Once everything is glued down, your collage portrait is finished. And so this is a great way to show creativity, to express yourself, to explore a really fun technique of collage that does not involve drawing or painting. You certainly could go back in and draw details. I think that would be really fun to like add some eyelashes or to draw some patterns in the background. And the artist Vakseen that I showed you, he does that with acrylic paint on top of the photo collages. But I'm just gonna keep mine very simple. I love the variety of facial features. I love the variety of colors. And there it is. Thank you so much for sticking around and making art with me. And if you're interested in more collage tutorials, check these out. If you're a teacher or interested in seeing more student examples, check out my website, thatartteacher.com, for my full-length lesson plans. And find me on Instagram at thatartteacher_Machado.